Hi. Hello. Everything's fine. We're calm, you're calm, nothing happened. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games. I am the aforementioned salty tech genius.
And I'm sweet.
And these various assorted spices are our friends. I'll fix Tommy's head in a minute, don't worry about it. Before we go around and meet everyone and their super paranoid characters, let's talk about some channel stuff. First, a ton of thanks to our sponsor, Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools. Especially grateful for that right now, with the world as it is. Thank you, Roll20. You're awesome. Also, all our emotes are live. They're super cute and adorable, so if you feel like subscribing for some cute emotes, do it. Just do it. Great. Awesome. Merch, we have it if you want it. Exclamation Redbubble. We have pretzel, we have complex love polyhedrals. They're super cute. And last few things, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, X and no cards, because while the characters are going to be put through a ton of shit, the players are here to have fun. Woo! Also,
we also have donations.
Yeah, they're down there. Donations to help the players. They don't need help. Anyway, let's meet them. Who should we start with? Kienna. What are you doing? Who are you playing? I'm
pressing X for doubt in my head right now about the not needing help.
Smart.
But hi everyone, I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of this channel. But today I will be playing Irene Blackwell, who is a resident art forger. She's had a weird day and a bit, where she's had some visions. She's had a time dealing with those visions, and also fast second. It's just been a lot for her. But she's ready to get on the road, I say. Mm-hmm. Talking about the person who stayed inside for most of her life doing art.
Are you excited? Highlands? That sounds exciting. I'm pressing X for doubt about what I named this episode. Allie! Who are you? What are you playing? What's going on? Hey, haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, yeah. Hey everyone, it's Allison. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist. If you're curious about who Ganymede is, I just hit send on a tweet that's got all of my inspirations for her. So check it out, follow me there. She is skeptical about all of this monster business. She's a scientist after all, but she's not so skeptical that she wasn't willing to get Zeb a gun.
It's wrong. He's a child. Summer.
Hi. I'm Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm going to be playing Charlie Rapp, who uses he, him pronouns, and he's just a good old boy. And he feels great, amazing, incredible, outstanding, fantastic, just perfect. Peak condition, mentally, physically, emotionally. Not even a little bit scared or worried at all.
I'm really happy for him.
Because why would you be?
Yeah. No.
Why would he be?
There's nothing to be worried about.
That's what I keep saying. And that's what he keeps saying.
Cool. Tommy, actual child Zebulon, how you doing?
17 teenager Zebulon. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Tommy.
Your head.
Thank you. I noticed my headache went away too, so that's great. Thank you for fixing my head. I am Tommy at Ping on the Twistsphere. I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III, who is a bab, is the actual good boy of this group, the best boy, and shall hopefully be getting a gun today, which will be nice. so that he doesn't get his back sucked by these weird fat-sucking vampires.
You're welcome. Your Auntie Ganymede's got you.
Thank
okay,
you.
Calm down. What are you, 3 years older than him? Slow your roll. Everybody, slow down. Okay, you're moving way too fast for me. Anyway, last time, Irene and Ganymede tried their best to assist Professor Sanchez after his encounter with the man they assumed to be De Mendoza, who kissed him, got a smooch. It wasn't nice, though.
Romantic.
Sanchez not only became unconscious, but also seemed to have something moving inside of him. Trinidad and the other ladies rushed him to the nearest hospital, while Charlie and Zeb decided to pay Larkin a visit. But before they entered his room, they heard 2 voices speaking, neither of which was Mr. Larkin's. They entered when the voices ceased, but only saw Larkin in the room. They departed only to hear from Jackson Elias that the man who had followed Charlie and Trinidad the previous night was outside of the hotel. They moved their little party to the streets and soon were met by Irene and Ganymede. Once everyone was up to speed, the group went back up to Larkin's room and confronted him. He admitted that De Mendoza had been in his room with a friend, though geographically and time-wise this didn't make sense. Zeb tried to see if the golden band they had from the museum would burn Larkin, but it couldn't even touch him, let alone burn him, as it did to De Mendoza. Before the group retired, Larkin gave an eerie parting comment to Irene about a change in her eyes. It's now Sunday. The expedition, which is still on, is set to leave tomorrow morning. 2 things happen relatively early. A delivery from the Daring arrives with the test results of the caustic fluid found on Professor Sanchez, and there's also a package containing a very small gun for Zebulon. It is comically small. Also, Charlie hears a knock at his door.
What time is it?
I'm gonna say it's like 9:30 maybe?
Okay. Yeah, I will get up. Have been asleep until this very moment.
Yeah, makes sense.
And will go to the door looking hot as heck.
Is he wearing a shirt?
He probably puts one on, but it's open.
Yeah, nice.
Not gonna
nice.
button it up, you know?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Okay,
Yes.
right. So, do you open the door?
I'm gonna look through the peephole.
Which I did say there were.
Which you did say there were.
It's Trinidad.
Oh, I opened the door immediately. Great. Amazing.
She looks like she's crying. Like
Oh, no.
she barely slept. And as you open the door and she sees you, she takes kind of a raspy inhale and she says, "He's gone."
Yeah, I think seeing the state that she's in, he immediately kind of reaches out an arm to kind of pull her into the room.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I think it takes him a second to catch up because he just woke up, but he knows who she's talking about, obviously. And he kind of looks at her and reaches up and wipes her tears. What happened?
I had been watching over him last night, and I fell asleep at some point. And the nurse, she woke me up this morning and said he had just walked out, pushed right past her. I went to the museum. I went to his home. He's gone.
Oh, I that's not what I thought you meant. Well, if he left the hospital, I'm sure we can find him. Somebody will have seen him. Was he acting strange?
He left while I was sleeping. The nurse, she said he pushed past her like very rudely. It's not like him at all.
Okay, well, come inside. We should get the others together. they know more about what happened when you were there than I do. But come sit down. I'll get some coffee. And he'll like escort her like over to like a little breakfast table or whatever and sit her down, and then he'll start to get dressed before he goes to get the others, basically. So coffee, breakfast, whatever, brought up to kind of calm her down.
Yeah.
And then go get the other three. I'll get Elias too.
Cool.
And bring them all here.
Great. Sounds good to me. Jackson Elias is already up and joins you relatively quickly. What about the rest of you?
You find Ganymede eating breakfast downstairs. She's been up for hours, of course. And she was just about to open the envelope with the results of the tests when you find her. So she carries that with her as she comes up to the room.
Awesome.
Great.
Zeb is still sleeping.
Knock, 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 knock. Pounding on the door.
Takes you like a minute.
Yeah.
What is it? Who is it?
Get dressed.
What time is it?
It's like 9:45. Get dressed.
Why are you all such early risers?
This is earlier than I would like, I admit, but we've got some stuff to attend to, so please get dressed and come to my room. And he closes the door. Goes to Irene.
Irene is probably opening the door just as Charlie arrives.
Yeah. Oh, great. Can you come to my room right now?
All right, yeah. Everything all right?
Trinidad is here. The professor's missing.
Well, that's not the worst news we could have had this morning.
It might be. As he starts walking back to the room. It's right down, or I guess it's downstairs, so we have to go all the way up. But
yeah, Irene will follow.
All right,
Yeah.
All of you are gathered together with Jackson and Trinidad.
As
Zeb's
Ganymede,
got some oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, as Ganymede sees Zeb come into the room, she catches his attention. Zebulon, think fast, and she tosses you this little package.
Does the comical bouncing of the pack?
Wow.
No, Zeb catches it. Zeb plays football. He knows how to catch. And Zeb definitely got some serious bedhead going on. One half is just kind of up because he didn't have time to take a shower, right? He's just kind of dressed lazily in this is his casual clothes, but not put together. He doesn't put himself together, but untucked shirt, just real casual. And he catches it. Is this what I think it is?
I think it's what you think it is.
And look, you're throwing it around. Zeb is just he sets it on the table and gingerly opens it and peeks inside.
Jackson has his hand over his mouth, but Ganymede, you can see he's smiling.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and then just gingerly rewraps it because he's not so dumb as to think that he probably shouldn't. He probably shouldn't be opening a package with a gun in the cafe.
We're in my room now.
Oh, we're in your room.
You're
Okay.
safe.
Yeah. Okay. Then he takes it and he looks at it and he's doing the
Oh my god. Inside. Yeah, and I imagine that Charlie would have filled each of you in as we were as he got you. So he told you the bare minimum that Trinidad came to his room and that the professor is gone, missing, gone, not dead, gone. Which is what Charlie thought she meant.
Great. So Zebulon, that gun that you have, it's basically like a pea shooter.
Mm-hmm.
It is just adorable. It is so cute. But Ganymede, you know, it's probably because the guys on the dairy didn't want to give up their good guns. And in terms of the test results, that fluid, that yucky stuff, whatever it is definitely caustic. Like, if you hadn't like scraped it off when you did it, probably would have burned through his skin more. So yeah, whatever happened to him, that was highly, highly dangerous. And you think the kind of, if any of that was inside him, then he was probably in awful agony, which is why he passed out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When Ganymede sees Trinidad, she says, "Buenos dias, profesora," and she knows she's not a professor, but she's giving her the sort of honorary title. He's gone. You said, was there any diagnosis? The object in his abdomen. Any diagnosis from the doctors there?
They examined him, but everything was so busy, and after the first hour, he greatly calmed. So they just, I don't know if they really knew anything. I left this morning without really asking. But I'm sure they were prepared to examine it more, but I don't think they got to it last night.
It's a shame, actually. Some strange new parasite, I assume. Perhaps it's influencing him psychologically. That's not unheard of.
You think?
You said he was acting out of character. I mean, if he pushed a nurse and he left when he was clearly should have been feeling probably too ill to leave the hospital, then I would think that something was driving him. It's not like him. He wouldn't have left without saying goodbye if he'd been in his right mind, right?
Correct.
Now, do you think that this is maybe the same thing that's influencing Mr. Larkin?
What do you mean?
I don't think we talked to her about that.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly possible, although I'm not aware of any of the precise symptoms of Mr. Larkin's condition. Ganymede just goes back to looking at those test results and trying to sort something out.
Mm-hmm.
So you checked the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other place, any like local bars, restaurants that we think he might have gone to?
He's mostly a homebody. The museum and his house are where he spends most of his time. Not a drinker.
Any sort of strange artifacts that I don't know, whoever this mysterious force is with all these fat sucking vampires and these strange whatever happening on, Mendoza was after something. Maybe they want the professor to get something for him. You would have access to just about everything, yes?
see, except, well, he did not get my notes on the confession that I showed you before. Maybe I will go and check back at the university. Maybe he's just not in his office. Maybe he has no, it's Sunday. He obviously doesn't have a class. I'll go and look around. He could be on campus somewhere.
I'll go with you. You shouldn't go by yourself.
Thank you.
Oh, and Mr. Rapp, you might fill her in on the agreement that we made with Mr. Larkin last night. There's a open spot in the expedition.
You're still going on the expedition?
Well, of course we are, my dear. Why wouldn't we?
Because a crazy, violent man was involved with it?
There are many possible explanations for his insane violence, but one thing is for certain. There's something awaiting us in those Highlands, and it's quite a mystery. I, for one, I wouldn't miss it.
A look passes over her face, partly shock, partly something else. All right, Charles, if you want to come with me, I'm going to go.
Yeah, he kind of gets ready to leave and looks at the others and is like, we'll be back in an hour. We'll make it quick.
Keep an eye out there, Mr. Rat.
I'll keep 2. And we'll head out.
Yeah. You take the tram back to the museum and the university connected to it. Just to kind of sum up, he is not anywhere on campus that the two of you visit.
Yeah. Like even in the basement where they were attacked or anything like that. Does she notice anything amiss? Like if he had been there and taken something, potentially?
That's a good question.
She would know better than I would.
Yeah. The place is still kind of a mess from where the altercation with De Mendoza happened. Nothing else looks like it has been disturbed.
Awesome. Yeah, I think then as they finish kind of searching the campus, and we would be asking people too if they had seen him here, anybody who happens to be on campus, we'd be asking. Because clearly, I mean, I'm assuming he was in like hospital garb unless he changed clothes, so it might stick out. But after we wrap up, Charlie just turns to her and says, so where do we go from here?
I think maybe I will just... I guess I could file a missing persons with the police. Sure, they'll be thrilled to see me again after our initial report yesterday. But I don't know what else I can do.
I think that he kind of nods, and I think while they've been walking around, whenever they've had a moment, he's been kind of slowly filling her in on what happened with Larkin the day before, and about how they threatened to cancel going, and how he got really freaked out and was like, he was basically agreed to any of our terms. And then he just says, I know that you don't like the idea of us going on this expedition, but we would really benefit from having you with us.
Could you make a persuasion roll?
Sure. I'd love to. Charm?
Yes, I mean, I suppose you're... I suppose you're flattering her a bit.
I just am only saying that because I'm pretty sure I get
I know.
bonus-sided charm
I
rolls.
know what you get. You know what? Go for it.
Okay. How are we doing that?
I'm
Extra
just
die.
doing it like an advantage because it's
Okay.
easier for everybody involved.
Okay. Great. Great. What? That's okay.
You do have an advantage, I think, right?
Oh, you do?
Using another advantage. Oh god, my luck is looking bad. I'll use it. Whatever.
Okay.
I'll just go for it.
Go for
I'm
it.
feeling silly.
It's not meant to happen.
It was not meant to be.
No, it wasn't meant to be.
I'm not very charming this morning. What's going
I
on?
don't know. Maybe it's because you buttoned up your shirt.
Oh, damn it. Fuck. Never button up your shirt, anybody.
Never button up your shirt. Okay, so, it's not that, that you're particularly bad at this. It's that
She doesn't want to.
No. She kind of sighs, and says, I don't think I can leave Lima if there's a chance that he's still here. He's not only my professor, he is a friend.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
I am worried about you and your friends going out into the Highlands.
Well, yeah, I'm worried about you staying here.
Well, we can be worried together. It will connect us across miles.
At least we have the numbers on Larkin. He's agreed not to bring anybody else. There are 4 of us.
It's true. Well, I'm going to head to the police, and I guess this is where we say adios for now.
Yeah, I think he smiles and he's like, I'll walk you there before I head back.
Alrighty. You do so. Afterwards, she kisses you on the cheek and hops on the tram going toward her home.
Yeah. And he'll turn and head back to the hotel.
Alright. Does anyone want to do anything else on Sunday?
Actually, I'd like to go on a long and complicated adventure. that takes
Side
all-
quest.
Side quest. No.
I'm going
good.
back to the United States. Wow.
Wow. Whatever.
No, probably just kind of obviously checking in with Larkin to see what's going on there. How that's going, but
There's no significant change. Now that he's kind of, aware that there was some doubt there, he's definitely trying to put on his best show in terms of his health. Whenever y'all come in.
yeah.
But seems to have, everything is set, everything's ready to go.
Okay. I think that Charlie would tell the others and would also like make it very clear to them not to mention that Trinidad's not coming with us, because I think the pressure that's putting on Larkin is a good thing. So it's going to be like a literal last minute she's not coming.
Okay.
I want him to believe that she's coming with us as long as possible. He's just going to not mention it, basically.
Alrighty. So, Monday. It's Monday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who would have dreamed that we'd ever see Monday?
I don't know. So it's Monday morning. There are, let's see how many. There are 2 trucks waiting for you that are loaded up with kind of your traditional archaeological dig supplies. There are drivers. They don't seem they seem like locals. None of them look gaunt or scary. And all of you can get ready to head up into the southern Andean Highlands.
I think Ganymede is waiting. She's waiting when the trucks arrive and has loaded all of her stuff up. She's like checking all the straps to make sure everything's loaded properly and just verifying what gear is there and kind of taking a mental inventory of what's available. She's already eaten breakfast and she's all decked out for this little archaeology field trip. This is her thing, so she's ready to go.
Good morning, everyone. Please, there's plenty of room in both of the trucks, and we will get started. We'll probably only really stop for an extended period of time in Puno to get some fresh food and water, but that will be very brief. I'm excited. This is an exciting time.
You're looking quite a bit better there, Mr. Larkin.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. I feel better. I think it is the fresh air, the anticipation of discovery. You know what I'm talking about, Miss Graves.
Yes, of course, Mr. Larkin. And she's kind of not. She's distracted. She's doing other stuff and just still doing her thing.
Well, I see no reason why we should delay any further. 3 days. 3 days on the road. Ha! At that, I will say anybody who's not Ganymede. Actually, no, Ganymede can do this too. You can all make listen rolls.
Would this be a moment where I could read lips even?
Sure.
Who are we trying to listen in on? I guess.
The drivers.
I'm trying to think if it's smarter for me to... I'm going to read lips. I'm going to go for it.
Go for it. Read down the lips. Ooh!
I do. Wait, we don't.
Oof.
It's
still early.
Do you speak Spanish, Charles?
No.
Okay. You read
Damn
those
it.
lips.
I'll spend the luck then. I'll spend 4 luck.
All right. You can make out what they're saying. You just don't know what it means.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, probably like very basic Spanish, but like not conversational Spanish.
Yeah. And it's very kind of rapid. Ganymede, I think maybe because of the position you're in, you're able to hear them. And it's basically why the hell are they taking trucks to Puno?
No, I actually do. I was lying earlier.
Hey!
I just spent 4 luck.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
It's fine. Yeah, it's basically why the hell are they taking trucks to Puno?
If I've overheard that, I'll kind of turn away from what I'm doing and approach the drivers then and just ask them, I'm speaking in Spanish, what is it that you mean? Why wouldn't we take trucks?
They look a little embarrassed, assuming that nobody understood them. But basically they say, like, the usual way is to take the steamer over water and then railway. It's faster. In fact, can I show you? Oh, you're already on that page. Good. Yes, that's what they say.
Well, can I find a map?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say yes. They have
okay.
maps.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
ask him to show you.
Show you.
Yeah,
show
right,
your
exactly.
Maps, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the map on the screen here now and trying
Yeah.
to see what maybe.
So, if you look at Lima and the little, I would switch over, but I messed up the cameras on the other screen, so we're just not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so usually that dotted purple would be the steamer, and then there's the black and white thing would be the railway. Your route with the trucks is the red dots.
Okay. I see. I think Ganymede would take note, but I think she's thinking there may be something about the choice of this route that I'm just not aware of or familiar with. I don't think she'd feel as though it was suspicious. She'd just keep it in mind and go back to what she's doing.
All right. You all are going to head out on the road.
On the road again. Just can't get.
And now we cut 3 days forward and we arrive, right, Lauren?
Safe and sound.
Well, now that you mention it. you know.
After a very brief and uneventful stop in Puno.
What? You don't want to stop in Puno?
Just a brief, uneventful stop.
Jackson Elias will say that when you know what, hold your horses. Hold your horse. Now you're moving too fast for old Lauren. Here.
What pace do you want us to move at? Just agonizingly slow or too fast? Running
We
too
have
quick.
2 speeds. We have 2 speeds.
Yes.
Okay, watch. We're going over to the map screen now. Boom.
Great.
Here we are. Map screen.
Hey.
What?
Yes.
Did we change?
No, I just changed
for the stream.
The
Oh.
stream.
It's perfection. I love it.
Thank you. I worked really hard on it, y'all.
You did great.
So, yes, this is your route to Puno, which is right off of Lake Titicaca. And that's there's nothing hidden beside underneath
What?
that.
Yeah.
So
It's
I was
really
wondering
weird.
about
that
that.
part of the map is just missing. We don't know why.
We have no idea.
We don't know what
why.
happened. It came like that.
Anything could have happened. So a couple things. You do have a pretty uneventful journey. So there. I will say, as you're kind of climbing into the Highlands, you notice it gets much colder at night. And when you do arrive at Puno, The city itself stretches like all the way to the shores of Lake Titicaca, up into the overlooking hills. It's a larger city than I think any of you expected. The majority of the buildings are low 1 or 2 story structures made from stone or brick. The streets, as you go uphill, it becomes kind of like a maze. They're very narrow. And in the center of the city is a huge plaza ringed with greenery and trees, and there's a church, St. Charles Borromeo, which is kind of overlooking everything. There are farms as you come into town, growing maize, potatoes, quinoa. There are farmers who are raising like alpacas and llamas. It's a really picturesque journey, and tourists out here aren't the norm at all at this time, so you definitely catch eyes. Let's make a spot hidden roll as you enter the city.
Whoever's unlucky enough to be sitting next to Ganymede on this trip is like getting a travel log of, oh, look,
Zeb.
alpacas.
It's Zeb.
Spot hidden from everyone?
God, I'm mad at my rolls today.
All right, hold on.
Nope. This is a bad luck week for Zeb. It's every other week for Zeb.
Yep.
Ooh, extreme success.
Okay. All right.
I would say
Ganymede.
Zeb is fairly interested in what you have to say. Like, this is all very new for Zeb, right? Like, he's getting to see, I mean, I bet, some of the views are spectacular. And, he does like a bit of adventure, despite how weird this one's gone. So.
So Ganymede, as you drive into the city, moving kind of through the crowds, as you pull into the place where you're going to pick up supplies, you notice a couple of people there's a woman who seems to be kind of stopped in the middle of everything, staring at the trucks as you go by. There's a man watching from like the shadows of a building that I think with an extreme success, he's wearing the same black hat that De Mendoza wears.
Mm-hmm.
And you also think, kind of moving through the crowds, at one point you swore you glimpsed Professor Sanchez. But he is gone almost as soon as you see him.
Yeah. I think Ganymede is taking all this in, and she's continuing the travelogue, especially if Zeb is eating it up. She's just like, it just encourages her. And so she's like, yes, the constituents of alpaca milk are actually very similar to those of domesticated cows. And then she catches what she thinks is Mendoza. And she says, Zebulon, look, and she points. Not trying to be stealthy at all.
I don't see what are you pointing at there, Miss Graves?
They're in the shadow of that building. Do you see that man there?
Is that man still there?
The hat, the dark hat.
As soon as you start to point to him, he's on the move with his bat to y'all.
Yeah. He's moving. If I'm correct, I think that was Mr. De Mendoza.
Zeb is like immediately reaching for like his gun. He's like, just
the gun.
What?
I'm on the other truck. It's official.
Mendoza. Where is he? Where is he?
Well, the man that I thought was him just disappeared down that alleyway. Put that away. There's no need for that right now.
Look, if Mr. Sorry, that's not his accent. Well, that's just not... Look, if Mr. Mendoza is here, I mean, I think it's very much a situation that calls for a gun. Do I need to remind you of the whole thing that he does?
No, you don't.
I'm
need to
assuming
remind
that
me.
you two are not in the truck with Larkin.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
go
probably-
with that. And I'll say Elias is with you.
Did you, Mr. Elias? Did you notice? Mr. Jackson, sorry.
Let's see. Did Jackson Elias? You betcha. I mean, he has been quiet, but now you see he was looking in the direction that you were the entire time, with a very concerned look on his face. That ain't good. Now I'm kind of worried about how long he's been out here. He's chewing on his pipe. When we stop, we need to get our group and sneak away for a bit on our own.
Yes, I quite agree. It's beginning to make some more sense to me that the drivers this morning the other morning were speaking of some interest in why we were taking this longer route. Apparently, if we had taken the steam route along the coast, it would have been much faster. You don't suppose that the extra time of our travel was intentional, perhaps to allow Mr. de Mendoza and his friends to arrive ahead of us?
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
She turns to the driver and asks, how far are we from the depot?
Less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
I have a friend out here. Her name's Naira. Well, we won't find her in her usual place, but I think I know where she might be, especially if de Mendoza's here.
It would be good to have to speak to someone who's from here. Perhaps there's been unusual occurrences.
She'd know best. She's a very knowledgeable woman. In fact, I planned on talking to her more about the location of this so-called pyramid. I just don't want to bring Larkin anywhere near her, frankly.
Understood.
I mean, I don't think Larkin's gonna want to leave his trucks. I mean, especially given the condition he's been in, and well, if he's wanting to come, maybe I can run a bit of distraction. Stay near the larger group of people in public. Very, very in sight of everyone here.
I think I get your drift, young Mr. Montgomery.
Obviously, I would be taking one for the team here. That is our main priority.
Is that a football phrase?
It is indeed. It's Elias.
All right, then. I think we have a plan. We could also just tell them we're going shopping for our own personal reasons.
As I said, it's a plan B if he's interested in moving along, but I don't think so. The way he's been.
As we pull in, I wanna cut over to the other truck with Charlie, Irene, and Larkin. How's the trip been, everybody? How y'all been doing? Is this the fun truck?
Is this the party truck?
Is this the party truck?
This is the party truck, I think. Yeah, I would imagine that this, at least for Charlie, he's pretty laid back traveler. He's probably doing a lot of, ever since his tarot cards got real wonky, he's probably been doing readings like every couple hours. It's probably a little, he doesn't like fully like lay out the cards and like all that stuff. He's more just kind of fiddling with them. But he definitely would have brought some tequila for the journey.
Nice.
Just to hang out. But yeah, I think it's pretty relaxed. He's not he's not on the lookout, I think, as much as Ganymede was. But yeah, pretty uneventful, I would say. He's clearly, I think Irene would notice that he's a little bit, he looks relaxed, but he's definitely a little bit on edge ever since we left.
Irene's been quiet. I mean, she always is, but I think it's like the fifth time that Charlie's doing the card stuff, and she'll kind of like just put her hand on his like forearm, right below his wrist. Are you all right?
Am I getting irritating?
Not particularly. Just I don't. It's been a while since I've seen you this nervous.
Larkin's in here with us, right? He looks over at Larkin, kind of like glances over at him, and then looks back at Irene. Oh, just cooped up for a couple days.
Right. Well, hopefully we'll be up and out soon.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get out and stretch our legs a bit. Get off the road for a short time. And he looks over at Larkin. How long are we?
Paying attention to our conversation at all?
Yeah. Was he?
He looks like he's dozing.
Did he ever say how long he was expecting to stay in Puno?
Not long at all. He
Okay.
was like, we're gonna get fresh supplies and we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just kind of like, depending on how much time we have in Puno, I think I want to make a stop or two.
Any particular places or?
Well, I'm sure I could seek out a resident fortune teller.
Irene raises a brow at that. Because she knows enough of Charlie's business that he's like a debunker, and like,
Yeah.
she believes that he has, abilities and has seen it and all that stuff. She's a little like, okay, like, it's a look of, I can't tell if you're just doing this for fun or for business.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's really letting on exactly what he wants out of it. But like on a meta level, Charlie, the reason he really likes talking to people who claim to be psychics, even if he doesn't believe they're actually psychic, is they really buy into the supernatural. And so like Charlie is interested in getting more information about the Kirasiri. And so he wants to talk to like a local resident who's going to fully like dive into that kind of world, whether or not they're full of shit. as far as like actual psychic readings go, he wants somebody who's on board to talk about that kind of stuff, you know? So yeah, that's what he's gonna be. That's what he's looking for. But I think he just kind of goes back to his cards and shuffles them and puts them away. And just clasps his hands in his lap rather than continuously like fiddling with them. Damn, chat is popping.
I know.
That's all I have to say about that.
Look at those hype trains.
Wow.
Incredible.
Bless.
So good.
Seriously, y'all. That's so cool. All right.
You get also, don't forget your bits can also give people advantages. So
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Sphinx. You can give someone advantage.
yeah.
I'm not saying Summer needs it. You give it to
I
whoever
am.
you want. I'm just
I need
feeling
it.
down right now.
Yeah. I'm down, but I'm not out.
No, you are out.
Yeah. I am down also.
Okay.
Both.
So, you all pull in to this area. Larkin wakes up really groggy. I will tell you, your truck. Oh, nice. So whoever needs it next.
Okay.
So, I will say that your truck, Charlie and Irene, stinks. Like, y'all have to keep the windows open even when it's freezing, or it smells rank. And you all know at this point that it's coming from Larkin. I'll also say at one point, as he's blowing his nose, you see what you think is like clotted blood come out once, but it's really dark.
Great.
Yeah, the travel does seem to be taking its toll, though he seems better than the condition you found him in originally, right? So you pull in and Larkin starts to make arrangements to get things. Jackson Elias gathers you all together and away from Larkin and away from the drivers. Okay. He makes sure that Larkin's kind of preoccupied at the moment and says, I was telling Mr. Montgomery and Miss Graves, I have a friend, a local of Puno who I think we could chat with. Not only is she a very knowledgeable woman, she may be able to even point us more specifically where we are going. But Miss Graves and I thought we saw Mr. De Mendoza as we were driving through the city.
Well, that's certainly not amazing news.
No.
It's very concerning, Mr. Rapp.
Although I can't say I'm too surprised.
I also, I hesitate to say it. It was just a passing glance from someone in the crowd, but I could have sworn I saw the professor.
Shit.
Well, that is almost more concerning to me than having seen De Mendoza. One of those I was expecting, the other one I had a couple of theories after he abruptly left the hospital, so hoping he would have turned up in Lima by now, but apparently not.
As I said, it was only a passing glance. I can't be sure, but it did look like him.
I trust your eyes.
Oh, well. Thank you, Mr. Rapp.
Let's,
Well,
Yes, Mr. Montgomery?
How was, I don't know why I keep dropping. Now, how was Mr. Larkin doing?
Terrible.
Well, then I don't...
He looks better, but he definitely is very ill.
Well, I don't think we'll have to worry about him trying to follow us, I suppose.
He'll be working on getting, I'm sure, all of our resources in order. If he has orders to fulfill, then he'll be busy.
Yes, I'll tell him we're going peruse the shops, and then I'll take you where I think my friend is probably staying. If she got wind that Mr. de Mendoza's in town, she will not be at her usual residence.
Who is this friend of yours?
Her name's Naira. She's Yatiri, a wise woman. Very knowledgeable, very respected in the community. When I first came out here, she was very hospitable and, like I said, very knowledgeable about things around here. I think she will probably know where this site actually is and can tell us more truthfully what to expect.
Is she believing in the supernatural? Or is she more of science?
No, she is, like I said, she is, kind of incorporates both, but she definitely believes that there is truth to a lot of the, rumors that you hear. I'm sure that she has her own opinion about the, Karasiri.
Well, two birds with one stone, he says, looking over at Irene.
Yeah, she'll nod.
Well, then I suppose we better be on our way so as to
Not delay the
not
journey.
keep Mr. Larkin wait. Might get suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Zeb will have his head on a swivel.
Yeah, definitely.
Literal swivel.
And you see Ganymede take that that big leather holster that she keeps her shotgun in and strap it across her back before we take off.
All right. Jackson goes over and tells Larkin that you're off to shop. You do walk kind of toward the closet first before Elias leads you another way back toward the lake. Oh, you know what I need from everyone? Because you have traveled into the Highlands and drastically changed altitudes. I need con rolls.
What the hell? That's disrespectful, I will say.
Mwah, love you.
I hate it, and I don't
I'm
like
spending
it.
3 luck.
Good.
I have this lovely feat called Endurance.
I'll
Just
spend
gain a
2
bonus
luck.
die when making con rolls.
You do advantage. Are you using luck, Charlie?
Yeah, I am.
Nice.
It's just 2. Fuck yeah, I am.
Yeah. Nice. Ooh.
Yeah, 2 hard successes.
Y'all are a
Brilliant.
hardy bunch.
I am very. I have a great constitution.
You see.
My 2 luck came from my tequila.
I think so. You see Jackson kind of take out. At first, he looks a little maybe lightheaded, but he takes out some coca leaves and starts chewing on them, and is soon like back to normal. But you are a hardy bunch. Ooh, yes. So he leads you to the lake, and I just feel like we need a change in music. You know what I'm saying? For this, like, who doesn't? What's this
I
one?
love it.
Sometimes I forget what I have. doesn't sound too sinister. The place he leads you, as you come out toward the lake, you see floating islands there, made of reed and mud, and these islands are like big enough to hold usually like 2 huts, made of, again, reeds and other things like that. And this is the home, Elias will tell you that this is the home of the Ura people who fish these waters. And there is kind of a flat raft that he is able to secure to bring you all out there. But he says this place is, when we spoke about the Carasiri, Nera said that, and De Mendoza in particular, she said if she ever felt she was in danger, she would come on out here, and my guess is that she has.
Now, when you say wise woman, she's just really smart woman. I cannot keep my accents under control this morning. Now, are you just saying that she's a smart woman, or you talking weird stuff going on here?
All of the above, let's say.
Alright then.
Alright. He rents you all a reed boat, and you can paddle out. The one that is closest is about 2 miles out into the lake. It's a bit of a trek, but with Zebulon helping him, like, this is not really a problem. Yeah, big boy. That face. I'd like a spot hidden, I think, as you all go out.
Sure thing.
Thanks. Nice.
Woo!
Hey.
Ooh, spicy rolls. They've turned around. As you head out, all of you kind of see this woman that Ganymede and Elias saw earlier. The same kind of gaunt face that De Mendoza has. She's not white like him, though. She seems to be local to the area, which is different. And you definitely see her kind of watching from a distance.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd point her out as subtly as possible to the others.
It's getting, I would say, kind of close to sunset, just so you all know. Also, it's picturesque.
Yay. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay. You make it out there as the sun is setting. Now, the Aura people are speaking a different language. It's not Spanish, so Elias is doing most of the translating here because he does speak this language.
What is it?
Oh, why did you ask me that? I don't remember right now. It's in my notes somewhere.
That's okay.
Oh no. I love it when everything minimizes on me. It's my favorite thing. Isn't it just? There we go. So, as you pull in, Jackson People are definitely staring, but some of them give kind of familiar nods or waves to Elias, as though they've met him before. He did say he was out here, so may have met any of these people. And he walks up to the largest hut and waits. Well, he knocks, but it's made of reeds, so calls out, "Nayra, it's Jackson." And then he says it, he kind of like face palms a little, says it in Spanish, and then says it in this other language. And the reed opens. There's a young man there, one of the Ura, and he looks over at everyone. They have a brief conversation. It definitely seems to be like introducing everyone, because he says all of your names and saying like they're good, basically. And all of you can enter.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Can I
Nayra.
vibe check it?
Yes.
This is a good place to vibe check.
Vibe check away. Call it out to me, because I've got so many things pulled up.
Yeah. So this is the first thing that Charlie does whenever he walks into a self-proclaimed spiritual place, or like a person who has or feels like they have connections, is he kind of Irene might notice it if she's seen him do it enough times, but instead of standing with like his hands in his pockets or his hands by his side, his hands kind of turn outwards like this. Even though they're like up by his side, they kind of turn out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like his way of like saying like, if anything's here, like feel free to like get in touch a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that. Success.
Regular?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You, especially as you're like coming in and you see kind of herbs and incense, other things like that, you don't get any feeling of this being a particularly spiritual or magical occult place at all. This looks like a healer.
Okay, so spirits aren't like lingering here,
No.
at least. Okay.
You would think that if, like, especially the Catholics in the area might think that this is like a witch hut or something like that, but it's not.
Okay.
It's a very, very practical place. This is, like Jackson said, this is someone who definitely believes in the supernatural, but it's not, like, to you, you know, this isn't like somebody trying to fool anybody. It's just she is a healer.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I think especially like seeing the healing, like the herbs and everything like that, not feeling spirits lingering in a place like that means that she's doing her job, which is really reassuring to him. So yeah, he just kind of, he smirks a little bit, but doesn't say anything.
As you walk in, I'll actually show you Nayra, because she's awesome.
Yay!
Boom.
Gib.
Should all be able to see her.
Yeah.
She's a stooped, wrinkled old woman with very thick white hair and like lovely bright eyes. She smiles. She has a couple teeth missing. It just makes her more endearing, really. And she gets up from where she's seated in front of a small fire and comes over and gives Jackson Elias a big hug. He looks very happy to see her too. You're all invited to sit down. Again, she speaks no English. However, she does speak Spanish rather well. So any of you who speak Spanish can understand her. but she gestures for all of you to sit down. She, who's she gonna do this to? She kind of smiles a little mischievously at Elias, and then like passes out what she calls dried meat, and like passes it out to all of you, while her protector, this young man who let you all in, starts making tea. Does anybody bite into it?
Oh, absolutely.
Zeb 100% does.
I smell it first.
But first he Zeb will ask Ganymede, how do you say thank you in Spanish?
She's a little bit distracted because she's checking this out before she eats it. She's not suspicious of anything. She just knows that sometimes stuff makes you sick when you're not
Charlie's
used to
already
it.
chewing on it.
Awesome. As Charlie takes the first bite, Nayra bursts out laughing. And you realize it's like bark.
Does it taste good?
No, it's like a tree. It's like part of a tree. And she starts laughing, rocking back and forth, clapping her hands.
Oh my god. Just spit it out.
And she kind of like pats her shoulder affectionately.
Mm-hmm.
And Elias smiles and says, she did that to me the first time I saw her too. Didn't know she brought the bark with her to the floating island to do the same trick on someone else though.
No, it's all fine. He like smiles at her.
Yeah, she winks at
and says
you.
he thinks it's funny, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, she gestures for all of you to make yourself comfortable. And Jackson and she talk pretty rapidly. Charlie and Ganymede, you understand. He's kind of updating her, saying that y'all saw De Mendoza, asking how she is, if she feels safe, all this stuff. And you do hear them converse about the Karasiri. She says for some, like, the odd thing is that she started to see not white men who seem to have this same look, the same kind of symptoms, basically. And Elias will convey this to all of you. And that disturbs her greatly, because the legends of the Karasiri are that they are European men, white men.
Yeah, I think Charlie would ask how long has she been seeing people that are not white, basically. That seemed to be Kirasiri.
Yeah. Definitely more recently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since the last time Elias was here, like a couple weeks ago, since then.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Jax moves on to asking her about this pyramid. And she will tell it to you again. This is Jackson's translation. And what Nara says and what he translates to you. She knows an old story about how an ancient and evil god fell from the sky and landed in Lake Titicaca. It crawled out and brought hunger with it, devouring all it touched. The trickster hero Akeko told the evil god where the most nutritious food could be found underground, showing it tubers and grubs. Akeko convinced the god from the sky, tempted by the food, to crawl into an old armadillo burrow. He then placed stones over the burrow, trapping the god below. Akeko told the people that this was now a sacred site and had them build a temple over it, binding it in place with spells worked in gold. The god from the sky still lives underneath the temple to this day, and those who know of it are wise enough to avoid its tomb. Consequently, few, if any, people from Puno go anywhere near the site, and it has largely become forgotten. though she does tell Elias where it is, because that is what he asks. And with these directions, Elias turns to you all and says, that's another 3 days from here, even higher up. We are going to need some coats. What'd you think of that story, Charlie?
Have I ever read anything similar to that before?
You can make a history or occult roll. This is
Okay.
pretty niche, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
It's not a common one.
For sure. I'm trying to see which one's being done. Okay. Here we go. Success. And I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not looking for like specific to this area. I'm kind of going back through all lore that I know, if that makes sense, or if there's any stories similar to this elsewhere in the world.
I think this particular story definitely seems to be site specific.
Okay.
The trickster hero is a pretty well-known figure, but
Yeah.
this particular one seems very specific to this area.
Yeah. Well, pieces of it line up a bit with some of the artifacts that we've come in contact with. That golden rod, the bit that Zeb's been carrying around so religiously for the past few days now, seems like it could potentially be from that site. It would line up with what the story says.
That is true. That is a very good point. Very good point.
And it's interesting that De Mendoza's been following us. Clearly he has some kind of personal interest in either the artifacts at that site, considering he was going for that rod himself when it burned him. Or so we think.
Now, is this conversation loud enough for everyone to hear, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, now I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. And he pats the bag. I do still have the gold thing with me. He's got his little sports, his canvas sports bag.
Jockey bag.
Jockey bag. But are we still sure we want to go to this here temple? Sounds like it'd be a real bad idea to go disturbing anything like that. Now, I don't necessarily know if I believe in any of this story about the hero and all that, but like we've been seeing some strange demon magic around here, and I would rather not disturb anything that may just be left best left undisturbed.
I'm not suggesting that we disturb anything. I thought the reason we were going is to see what exactly De Mendoza and his friends have been up to out there.
I think, if anything, we're going more to protect the site, Zeb. We're going to keep Larkin from taking anything he shouldn't. The last thing we want to do is upset anything that lingers there.
All right, just making sure we're all clear on that.
I'm sorry, but are you implying that there's some truth to these myths?
I am not. I think De Mendoza is just, like I said, my specialty is death cults, a very human occurrence, despite what they believe. They do things maybe based on belief in the supernatural or gods or monsters or whatever, but they are humans. They are, that is what they are.
That is reasonable. But I was directing my question more toward you, Mr. Rapp. These myths of the kind all over the world, it doesn't mean that there's some kind of evil magic god trapped beneath this pyramid. It's an archaeological site.
While me and Mr. Elias have many commonalities in what we do for a living, I'm coming at it from a very different place. Personal experience has taught me a thing or two about where we go when we're dead.
Well, she turns to Irene. Miss Blackwell, certainly you don't believe any of this, do you?
Well, after everything we've been through already, I would not dismiss everything. Besides, myths and such, they stem out of some level of truth, as with all stories. Whether it is out of necessity for maintaining certain traditions or protecting something, I think it's important to at least take the precautions, even if you don't fully believe.
Regardless if you believe it or not, it's best to be respectful of the people and their traditions. You have to buy in a little bit in order to avoid stepping on toes.
Usually, stories like this are based on some scientific or natural occurrence, something that can be explained. Maybe there's a fault line or something like that, a crevice under this site, and that's where this story comes from. It could be as simple as that. But if I know anything about death cults, I would suspect that de Mendoza at least believes in whatever he thinks is at this site.
I am very confident that we have all we need to take care of Mr. de Mendoza should he attempt to interfere in any way.
Certainly.
Well, I guess we shouldn't take too much more of Nayra's time. And he takes her hands and kisses her on both cheeks, and she kind of slaps him playfully.
Charlie's going to stay behind a little bit, intentionally.
Okay.
Just to FYI.
Yeah. Jackson's going to head outside to go get the reed boat ready. What's everybody else doing?
I think Zeb will follow Mr. Jackson and help him out with that.
Cool. Irene?
Yeah, I think she's gonna step out and she's gonna just look around the area, the environment around, kind of looking for weird things, but also just taking it in.
Yeah. Ganymede?
Probably the same as Irene.
Okay. My people outside make spot hiddens. I'll come back to you. Charlie. What's up?
Yeah, as soon as everybody else kind of gets up and leaves, he does make like he's going to leave, but he lingers behind. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out his deck. Kind of showing her the back of the tarot deck, and I'll actually get all the card. And he flips over the front the top card, which is devil.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to her in Spanish, what that card, he asks what it means to her.
She looks at it and at you and kind of shrugs. Can you show me the card again?
Yeah. It's very scary.
Mm. She makes she basically says God back to you.
Mm-hmm. He asks her if he believes in predestined death.
If she does?
Yeah, if she believes in it.
Like fate?
Yeah. Like unavoidable death, basically.
Yeah. To that she says, no. If I believed in that, I would not be a healer.
He nods and pockets the card again and leaves.
Irene succeeded. So, as you all come out, the sun has set. You notice it's quiet on this island. There were definitely other people. Like, this is the largest hut, but there are like 6 other huts. And you don't hear like chatting over meals or anything like that. It's very quiet. And Irene, you spot kind of on the farther end as you're looking back and forth 2 other reed boats that weren't here when you arrived.
Miss Graves?
Yes?
It appears that perhaps 2 other parties might have arrived. And she'll point out the 2 boats.
Remind me how big this island is that we're on, this floating island.
It's big enough that there are 7 total huts on it.
Okay. Perhaps people who live here returning from the shore or from other islands.
I will hope so.
Worth keeping our eyes open, though.
Deb's head is just on a swivel.
Mm-hmm.
Here I come.
And Charlie
Outside.
comes out.
I am never surprised in combat. I will kindly remind everyone here. I'm so alert. It's the most alert little boy you ever seen.
When you come out, Ganymede points toward the new boats. Some additional visitors perhaps have arrived.
That might be our cue to get out of here then.
I quite agree.
Irene, you start to see, just with some of the lights around the island, you start to see shadows kind of moving, not directly where you are on one side, but like through the huts, kind of on the other side. Lots of shadows.
Like more than should be on this island, many, or Irene is watching, and I think it's pretty obvious that she's watching. Like she probably turned from the rest of the group. She's not saying anything, but she is watching these shadows.
I will also look at where Irene is watching.
Yeah,
if she's being very quiet.
Go ahead and make a spot hidden because you haven't made one yet.
Cool. Hard success.
It's just like a sliver peeking out from the side of the hut, but you swear that's Professor Sanchez. And
I start walking over there.
Yeah?
Yep. I've got my hand on my gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should one of us
Stomp.
go with Mr. Rapp there?
Mr. Rapp, I thought you said it was you were ready to leave.
He just kind of calls over his shoulder. Give me a second. I think I know this guy.
Yeah.
And he's gonna call out Professor.
Are you like right where he was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm staying in sight of the rest of the other people. I'm not gonna like go around the corner, but I'm gonna come out so I can see fully, right?
He steps out of the shadows and you see it's definitely him.
How's he look?
He looks gaunt. His eyes are sunken in. And 3 other figures are behind him. There's a woman. There's... Oh, look, it's that other white man who was following you.
Love that guy.
And a younger man. And they all kind of step out a little bit of the shadows into the moonlight.
Can we all see this now?
Nope, they're around the corner. Only Charlie sees this.
But we can see Charlie.
Yeah.
You can see Charlie.
He says, what are you doing here, Professor?
There's very heavy breathing from him, and he just croaks out, "Leave."
You know, Trinidad was pretty worried about you.
There's a bit of pain in his eyes for a moment before he just says again, "Leave."
I think you should come with us. I don't know what's going on with you right now, but these people aren't your friends.
The pale one kind of steps forward into the light a bit. And you see where his mouth should be a kind of protruding disc almost. You can see sharp, they look like teeth maybe, and as his tongue comes out, it is long, it is hard, it is dripping this secretion that when it hits the ground, you see it sizzle a bit. And I think that's where we're going to end this episode.
You want me to shoot him?
I don't know.
We end the episode with a single bang and no one knows who shot first.
The tongue or the gun?
Tongue or the gun. Da, da, da. The end. Nailed it. Okay, let's go to happy music. Happy music time. Woo, happy music. Woo. Love it. Okay. Let's go around and talk to everyone, see how they're feeling. Why don't we start with Summer?
Hi.
Hi.
I feel great, amazing, fantastic, outstanding, superb, peak condition mentally, physically, emotionally.
Awesome.
No, I love this. I think it's amazing. I genuinely love it so much.
Okay, roll a sanity check before I forget.
Damn it, I already closed out of the roll 20, Lauren.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
I'll go back to it and do
But
it.
plug your things first.
I am Summer. You can find me on Twitter at JustASummerJob. That is where I retweet about everything that I've got going on. You can find me here every Saturday. You can find me on a Narcissus channel here on Twitch every other Saturday and every Monday. You can find me on off_the_table Tuesday through Fridays, and you can check out 3 new podcasts, or 3 podcasts that I'm in, 2 that come out bi-weekly every Monday, and then 1 that's going to be coming out bi-weekly Thursday starting this week. Daisy, let's do a sanity check.
Ooh, can't wait.
Wow, I can't wait for it either. It's going to be so much fun. I'm
excited.
really sane, right?
Yeah. You're so
I'm
sane.
so sane.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Oh,
Bitch.
So fucking
Don't
sane.
fuck with me.
Wow.
Don't fuck with me.
wow.
Speaking of sane, Tommy.
I told you all. No one believed me. Zeb was right.
They're not making that sound. It's more like.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat for what's gonna happen next week. Will Charlie get eaten before we can get to him? Who knows? Also, super excited to be in the spooky Highlands with spooky temples and stories about evil gods, and we're totally nothing bad is gonna happen, everyone. Fine. We're gonna stop the nefarious plan of whatever's going on here. I am Tommy at Imperator Penguin on the Twitter sphere. I do tabletop RPG stuff on the interwebs, along with some video editing work, like the intro you see for this show here. You can find me on Fridays over on Encounter Roleplay, playing an also spooky campaign, sort of Stephen King meets Call of Cthulhu. There we go. That's right. There we go. Lovecraftian is better.
Yeah.
And in the Haunting of Seawall Orphanage. I cannot speak this morning. It's very early. It's very early
for us.
But yeah, just follow me on Twitter. I retweet everything. Follow me there. I'm done. I can't.
Allie.
That was amazing. I love everything about it. I love all of your characters. I love our NPCs. I love this world. I love that it's about to go down. I'm so ready. So thanks to all of you. And just I know you're going to give a shout out, but a special shout out to the folks at Roll20 who are really putting in the hours and the effort this week to make sure the platform stays up, and all of us who are socially distanced from one another can get together and be with our friends and play games. I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have the ability to do this. So much love for all y'all at Roll20. You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. Take a look there. I've got some new Ganymede Graves stuff coming up. I mean, I know I'm the only Ganymede Graves super fan in the world, but give it a look. And some other things getting ready to happen in the near future. So follow me there and follow along. And stay safe and stay well, everyone. We are just so grateful for all of you.
Yay. Kienna, it's our turn.
It's our turn. We'll plug our personal stuff before we move into channel stuff. But yeah, y'all find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to figure out I'm doing, come over the internet, doing role-playing things, whether that's streaming, writing, shouting to the void. In less than half an hour, I'm going to be on Asian Represent for Representacon, our first virtual con. I'm going to be on a panel about how to care for people you unintentionally harm through tabletop games.
Oh my
whether
god,
in campaign
that should be
or
required
design.
viewing.
Yeah. So doing that really shortly. I'm also guest for this upcoming coming months, I am guesting over on Tales from the Mist on the official D&D channel on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a lot of fun, so definitely check us out over there. But otherwise, I'm here on the channel doing stuff. And Lauren, where can we find you when you're not here on the internet?
I'm Lauren. I'm Not Salty Ginger over on Twitter. You can find me here and on the Scraticus Academy running Urban Shadows, and on Off the Table every other Friday playing some Cypher System Hark, which I'm super excited to get back into. That's it for me. Working from home, you know, chilling like a villain, as you do.
Yeah. So channel things. Again, special thank you to our sponsors. They help us get the show on the road. Also help us connect with each other in these times. They are amazing. So go give them some love over on Twitter, and also check out the other shows under the Spotlight program, which we are a part of, so you can see all the other cool shows that they are helping to bring to life. If you want to ever watch an episode again, or you've missed one, we have a YouTube channel. On YouTube, I upload usually Tuesday and Thursdays for the VODs of our weekly campaigns, and then any other day for our other impromptu streams. We do video game streams and all that stuff. And if you want to find out when we go live on those impromptu streams, Twitter is one of the best ways to find out when we are. We retweet everything that we do, and we also make announcements for when we do video games, or we do one-shots, or any of that other stuff. We do have merch if you like our pretzel. If we like our complex love polyhedrals, you can get that, and you can help support us. Again, thank you everyone who had donated, who was part of the freaking level 5 hype train today. Whoa, y'all were wild. Yeah, that was incredible. Again, channel, everything comes out of pocket for me and Lauren. This is a labor of love, so we really appreciate all of the support y'all give us. Whether it's through donations, through following, through subscribing, whatever else, it really, really helps us. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm gonna go raid us over to Asian Represent.
Yes, let's do it.
Out with them over there, and be ready for when I'm live. But we'll be back tomorrow with some Witcher, Crimson Ash. It's gonna be some fun stuff. But
wait,
stay
bye.
safe, everybody.
Yeah, stay safe. Wait, bye.